Who would be the audience for your media production?
16 years and over.
Yeah, I think we'd also aim it for 20 to 30-year-olds.
Yeah, because of the content we have. Basically, what our story's about is there's a man who, he doesn't know it yet, but he's a convicted. He's a convicted paedophile in a way, but he has a. Whilst he's on his way, so he kidnapped a girl, and then he was driving to his house to take her there, but as he was on the way he crashed his car, and then he crashed, the girl died, and then he had memory loss, and then what happens is that he went to the hospital, and as he was getting interviewed, in his mind he thought that the girl was his daughter, but then as the person questioned him whilst he was in bed, he began to realise that it wasn't his daughter, and there was something not wrong about the situation.
Yeah.
That's where our video comes in.
Yeah. You wouldn't say there's many graphic scenes in it, except the violence, but you wouldn't say any sexual images.
No, there's no sexual
drug use or
content.
anything like
There's
that.
censored words, which is why we've kind of put it at a higher targeted audience, but just because of the storyline mainly.
Yes, yeah. You could assume there's alcohol use as well, and
yeah.
And you'd say who likes to watch the film would be someone who maybe likes thrillers with action and drama mixed in with it.
Your product, the 2-minute opening to our thriller film, The New Man. We try to appeal to a certain target audience, which is, it was really important to us to do so because you have to make sure, you know, what you're doing.
Yeah, different aspects we have, I guess.
Yeah, we had to make sure our key features were met. We aim for a movie based on a target audience of young
20 to 30-year-olds.
Yeah, 20 to 30-year-olds.
But we would also open up to 16-year-olds and over.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to watch it, they then could watch it.
It wasn't too restricted. Once we figured out our target audience, we had to think of the different aspects that, how we would attract the audience to our film. So, obviously, advertisement and stuff.
Yeah. We're just going to talk about some shots that we thought would comment on and how it attracts our target audience. And firstly, we like the interview scene where Chris is interviewing Dean about his alleged attack on the woman and abduction. We think this would attract to people that would like questioning and crime sort of films and genres, and how it appealed to that sort of area, how we've adapted it, not just being a thriller to other genres, hybrid genre.
Another scene that we think would attract the audience is the actual opening of the film that we made, where the cars are going past in the street. We thought this would be a good one to use because it doesn't release too much information away. It kind of keeps and holds that, not suspense, but that mystery about what is this film actually going to be about. And people who, we thought this attracted the people who like that sort of feeling where it takes guessing to get into the film.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's an overall theme of cars throughout the whole thing. There's quite a lot of car scenes in it, And the third scene we want to comment on is the violence. There's not much in the opening, but throughout the film there would be more.
Yeah.
And would think that the action in this scene would be more prominent to younger audiences.
Yeah.
Possibly older ones as well, who would like the violence and something that keeps them entertained throughout the film. There'll be more in the film, but it's just an opening.
Obviously because this is a small bit of violence, it kind of gives them the thought that there's going to be further violence in the film, so it kind of gives them the feel that they want to watch on to see what happens and to see more of the violence happening.
Yes,
yeah. So I think that's how we would attract our audience.
Attracted,
We would include them like, because we would like get still images of them shots, and probably that's what we would use to advertise as well. Like put them on the posters, or I don't know, like other like TV advertisements, show them scenes or something like that. Yeah.
And on social media.
Yeah.
Right. So how would you say we attracted the audience's attention throughout the film?
Well, basically, our film has a twist in it. It's not shown within the first 2 minutes of our film, but we didn't want to give like away the whole flipping plot to the films first. So we kept the detail to like a very bare minimum of what was actually happening in the opening, and there would be very many questions that the audience would be questioning themselves about the production, like how
did he abduct the girl?
Yeah, like
who is the girl?
How did all of this happen in the first place? Like just stuff like that.
I think the audience would like to see actually what happened. We just jumped to aftermath of it, and we want maybe they will obviously focus on afterwards is how it did happen.
Yeah.
What led up to it? What led to Dean actually?
Yeah, I mean, like throughout the film, the questions will obviously be unravelled and the answers will become clear. But our audience needed to be attracted and drawn in at the very beginning to keep their attention, so they don't just like daze off.
We'll just give the whole movie away in the first 2 minutes.
When watching the first 2 minutes of the film, you expect the attention to be grabbed straight away, and not to be interested. I mean, not to be like not interested, and to like lose concentration, as we just said. So basically, like we just really didn't want, because of the plot is so, what do you call it, like
it's easily to mess up in a way that we have to make sure that we did.
Yeah, I mean it is such a dramatic plot, like with the whole case of the paedophile and the little girl. It's like it can touch, like we don't want it to be.
Yeah, we don't want it to be too.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be exactly or too extreme. So with the opening, we kind of wanted to just like slide the fact that it's like something along these lines, but not to be revealed too much. So, yeah.
And how would you say we use sound and music in a way to keep our audience attracted to the film?
Well, in the opening, we used quite acoustic sound music tracked in a way.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, definitely acoustic. Yeah, guitar and. Yeah. Definitely, I would say indie in a way.
Yeah, and obviously that. We noticed because we done a research into the charts first when we first like produced it, and what has been the charts recently over this past year, and we've seen that the indie scene has started to creep in a lot more. Yeah. So we thought, obviously because of our audience, it's over the age of 16. This could attract them in a way. Yeah. Yeah,
it's definitely not happy or sad. So it kind of keeps them guessing at what's going to happen after the music.
Adds on that suspense.
Yeah.
We used we didn't use quite a lot, but we used silence quite often.
Yes, yeah.
Silence is seen as to be the most effective tool. It didn't give like away too much because of obviously there's no dialogue, and it creates like kind of like a disturbing atmosphere because it's like in silence, and obviously you all know the awkward silence situations that you get into.
Yeah. I think the audience want to be a part of the movie, and in real life, if this was real life, there wouldn't be music. So if you were actually there with the actors,
it creates a personal feel.
Yeah, if silence would be like, oh, this is actually what is happening.
Yeah.
This is what you hear the effects that people actually make.
Yeah,
like screams
on the emotions.
Right, and lastly, we'll talk about the gender roles in the production, how it's quite stereotypical.
So basically, when I think of a paedophile, it comes straight to mind a guy, an old creepy man who doesn't know what he's doing, going around picking up little boys and little girls. It's a very stereotypical view of paedophiles across the entire world now. But obviously it's not only men. It's starting to become there's more stories in the news now where there are cases of women also doing these horrible things. Yeah.
And also not also children being abducted. There's also adults being abducted.
Yeah, but obviously in our story there is the stereotypical view of the man taking the girl.
Yeah.
And we didn't really want this to come across as like it being only men taking girls, but we thought this was the best.
Yeah, it kind of represents an overall theme of how bad it is in society.
And we also thought that like if we used a man, he could come across as more creepy and
you
whereas
could
if you use a woman, she's not like we don't want any like elegance or like politeness or anything. So yeah, I think we did have a good choice there of using the male and the female little girl, but she doesn't actually show in the opening titles. It's more throughout the film. That's when the story is more revealed. We see her. So yeah.